The streak is over. 47 races since Jeff Gordon has won, and it's over today. It's his 82nd career win, but none could be bigger on a track where he had never won before. You got to go back almost a year and a half to find the last time that Jeff Gordon won, but that period of time is now history. 17 tries at Texas, and Jeff Gordon finally has a checkered flag. There's crew chief Steve Letarte. He has a lot to celebrate too. A huge weight off the shoulders of this young man as a four-time champion is back in Victory Lane. Hello everybody and welcome to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed. I'm John Roberts with Kenny Wallace, Jimmy Spencer, and Jeff Gordon is back where he belongs in a championship role here, and he looks like he's running for another one, guys. He comes in as a points leader, leaves as a race winner.
And so many stories in this drama-fulfilled win. You know, Jeff Gordon, you know, new black SS, you know, has a baby, married. I mean, cows are flying, children are weeping. This is a big moment right now in Victory Lane. We talked about for 2 weeks. We got an off week next week, but guys, look, we'll break it down. But this is one of the biggest wins in the last 2 years.
Well, the thing is what amazed me, you know, naturally it's a 500-mile race, but here he is, strong, running real well, and then all at once he starts to falter. And all at once you say, man, he's not going to be a factor in this race. But as the race progresses and progresses, he gets the car adjusted right well, the crew does, and he ends up getting in the lead there at the last pit stop, no looking back.
That is going to be a very happy man at this point today and probably for the next 2 weeks. He goes into the off weekend back on the winner's side of things and also with the championship points lead. 104 laps led for Jeff Gordon today.
And what I think is incredible now is, you know, Jeff Gordon won so much the fans kind of got tired of him. Jeff Gordon hasn't won in 40-something races. He wins here today, the fans go nuts. So see, race fans, they don't like you when you're a winner, but when you lose a little bit and you come back and win, they love him. The fans went nuts, and congratulations to Jeff Gordon. He comes out of the car, they go nuts in the grandstands. Woo!
Yeah, I think it didn't bother Jeff Gordon when people didn't like him when he was winning, because that's what he's out here to do, is win. Let's take a look at a quick look, rather, at the highlights. We'll have much more expanded highlights later, but, you know, this was going to be a big day for David Rudiman as he had his second ever career Sprint Cup pole. Led the field to the green flag with Jeff Gordon on the outside, and it looked like the earliest strong car was going to be that of Matt Kenseth. This is a race where the Roush-Keteers, Roush Fenway Racing, was supposed to bounce back in a big way. They did. They ran well, and Matt Kenseth spent some time out leading as soon as he took the lead away from David Rudiman there. Now the 99 of Carl Edwards, another Roush car starving for a win this season, passes Jeff Gordon, and Tony Stewart was in tow. So you didn't know what was going to happen. We still had one more pit stop to go, and that was the crucial time in this race as Jeff Gordon's crew picks him up 2 positions in the pits. Yeah, guys, go ahead, give some high fives, congratulate yourselves, because you earned this win as much as your driver did today on that last crucial final pit stop. Jeff Gordon is back in Victory Lane after a 47 race absence. And now everybody's not going to be talking about this streak anymore, not going to be talking about the fact that Jeff Gordon's never won at Texas before, because now he has. Congratulations from Jimmie Johnson, who ran a close second. This is one big team over there at Hendrick Motorsports, and anytime anybody wins.
Mark Martin right there alongside of him, Johnny, you know, that goes to show you how great these guys all get along on the Hendrick camp. And you know, to see Jimmy come over here and congratulate him and Mark Kenny, that's pretty special.
Well, you look at the rundown, you got Mark Martin first, Jimmie Johnson second, and Mark the Kid Martin sixth, and then, of course, Dale Jr. rounds out, you know, the Hendrick Motorsports group in a 20th place finish because of a flat tire. So a really good day. Now, here's the most important thing. Hendrick Motorsports knocks Roush off the pole because they dominated here. Roush has, and now Hendrick, they take that, you know, that Victory Lane away from Roush.
And again, the subject of so much conversation over the last couple of days has been the fact that Jeff Gordon has never won here. Well, it's not a fact any longer. Now it's a fact that he is a winner at Texas. When we come back, we'll talk to driver Jeff Gordon and some of the other guys who figured into this race this afternoon at Texas.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate, and brought to you in part by Super Clean Degreaser. Not just clean, super clean.
It is said that all good things must come to an end, but sometimes all bad things must come to an end as well. A 47-race winless streak is certainly a bad thing for Jeff Gordon, and now with congratulations from teammate Jimmie Johnson, who finished a close second, Jeff Gordon is back in victory lane, back where he wants to be. And this was just the 7th race of this season, but a long time coming for Jeff Gordon. Let's take a look at the first 150 laps of this race today. Race number 17 ever at the Texas Motor Speedway, and we had David Rudiman lead us to the green flag.
Yeah, and immediately here we start seeing these guys really racing hard. The wind blowing, but you know, a lot of dicing and shuffling along this race line here, Kenny. You know, there we see 3 guys going hard to try to lead the first lap. That's hard to believe.
And Matt Kenseth said right before the race, his car is horrible. He had a horrible practice. But look at this. He's challenging for the lead right away. What a great start to the race. Usually they single file right away, but look at that fight for the lead.
Little tangle coming up here between Kurt Busch and Robbie Gordon. Robbie does a great job to save the car and also to save a caution from coming out. You know, Kenny Wallace, we had 97 caution-free laps to start this race, and that's the longest green flag run ever at this racetrack.
And at this point right here, you're trying to figure out who is going to be dominant, and you're thinking it's David Rudiman. David Rudiman in the 00 car makes Michael Waltrip Racing proud, leads the first 41 laps.
And, you know, here comes the Roush cars. You know, let's face it, we say Roush is very strong. There's 7 wins. Matt Kenseth is battling right there for the lead under Rudiman. But Rudiman ran a good race also. And another guy, Menard, ran in the top 5 most of this 2 stints here.
And I'll tell you what, one of the big stories is what happened to Childress. This 29 car of Kevin Harvick was loose all day long. It's going to be interesting to see what happened to him. And also, Clint Boyer, the leader in that camp, was Jeff Burton with a top 10 finish.
You know, Tony Stewart was fastest in one of the practice sessions yesterday, so you knew he had a great starting spot and a great chance to run up front, and that's exactly what the smoke did.
Yeah, and here he is taking 2nd spot from Rudiman because Kenseth's checked out on him right here. But, you know, this is a good sign for Darian Grubb and Tony Stewart. You know, Stewart in the top 10 in points and chasing down the leader here.
And another mystery besides the Childress cars were the Gibbs cars today. Kyle Busch just had an awful day.
Well, Kyle cuts down here on the
John
Andretti car, and as he does, Kenny, he cuts a left rear tire down and also dents his left rear quarter panel.
Well, you know, we're sitting here commentating on these highlights, and we're trying to figure out why did he cut left on him. I mean, maybe he was aggravated with him, but he retaliated for something because he crossed 2 lanes and flattened his own left rear tire. 2
past winners at this racetrack, Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle. They were making their way up front and in a hurry.
Yeah, and here comes the Biff, and he started pretty far back.
Biff.
But the Biff drives that baby down, and he loves Texas Speedway, his previous winner here.
While we're on the theme of former Texas winners, take a look at Elliott Sadler. Just gets loose in the Best Buy car and goes for a spin.
Well, you know, Elliott ran no better than 40th, 41st all day long, and we could see that he was driving the car on the edge. He couldn't lay the power down and turn the wheel left. He just so loose, and he goes ahead and proves it to the team. Look, I'm spinning out.
All right, tough break for Elliott Sadler. The black flag at that point coming out was for Kyle Busch. He was, excuse me, too fast in the pits, and that's another look at Elliott Sadler spinning through. So bad break for the 18, bad break for the 19, but meanwhile, we had all of these strong cars running up front, and it was really a guessing game at this point as to who it was going to be, because it looked like maybe Matt Kenseth, who led 55 laps, was going to take the race away. Maybe it was going to be the first one for Tony Stewart, or maybe this long winless streak for Jeff Gordon was going to come to an end.
And the thing is you know, as we're watching this race, where's the 48? The guy that wins at Martinsville last week. He's not in the top 5. He's not in the top 10. He's not even 15th. He is hanging on for dear life the first 150 laps of this race, Kenny. Very uncharacteristic of that team.
Well, I think what's incredible about Jimmie Johnson is it shows all young drivers out there that, look, okay, my car is truly not doing what I need to do. I'm getting ready to wreck. Got to get a caution. You have to come in and go ahead and have Chad Knaus work on the car. Then the 3-time champ comes rocking back to the front. But one other thing, I haven't seen this in a long time. 97 straight laps, no caution. We went 97 laps before the first caution, Spence.
And I think that was a big reason what happened to the 48. And a lot of those guys, you know, they started lapping cars. They had to make a green flag pit stop. Usually that's very uncharacteristic of Texas. And in turn, that got a lot of guys in trouble, a lot of guys way behind at the beginning of that race.
But don't go away, race fans. Don't ever write off the number 48, because he would make his way back up, and we'll show you exactly how he did it. But it's Jeff Gordon who's getting his name etched in this wall of fame here at Texas, the wall of champions, rather. We'll be back in a moment. Steve Burns and the crew will break down the Texas race Monday on This Week in NASCAR. Also, Profile will be the best scanner sound from Texas in the radioactive feature. Last week, twin viewers eavesdropped on an argument between Kurt Busch and car owner Roger Penske at Martinsville. So you don't want to miss This Week in NASCAR Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. The celebration continues here in the Texas victory lane. When we left off, we had this race kind of being dominated by a handful of cars, but don't forget, Jimmie Johnson was mired back in the pack, and he wouldn't be there for very long. Let's now take a look at some more highlights. Pick it up with 151 laps into this race in the history books, and we have Matt Kenseth out front.
No, that's the Biff right there.
I'm sorry, the sun's in my eyes, Jimmy.
I know it, but you always stuck by the Biff. And this
you got to stick by the Biff.
And the thing about this is, here's the 16 and 17. We see the tough luck they've had the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're running 1-2, Johnny, battling a heck of a race for the lead.
So a great run going on here for Roush Fenway Racing, as they had a couple other cars right behind them that were contending for this one. David Reagan spent a lot of time in the top 5 today, and now we see David Reagan once again battling with the number 2 for a top 5 spot.
And you know what is interesting about David Reagan in the 6 Roush car? You're thinking, man, all these Roush cars are starting to show, but on the outside, I mean, you can never give up on Kurt Busch. He won Atlanta. He knows these mile-and-a-half tracks. And looky here. Here we got another Roush car coming in, Matt the Brat Kenseth. So what a great battle at this point in the race.
This is not great for A.J. Allmendinger, who came in 15th in points. Crew had to push him out of the pits, a little ignition trouble. They stalled in the pits. And a tough break for A.J. Allmendinger of the number 4014.
Yeah, and here we have a failure. This is uncharacteristic here for Michael Waltrip, Marcus Ambrose blowing up. And this guy's having a great year. When you have an engine failure, unfortunately for that Toyota, she has to go behind the wall.
You know, there were a couple times where we saw the wind gusts today that were about 40 miles an hour. Looked like they wreak havoc on cars, but sometimes we just saw cars simply get loose, as we did Clint Boyer there, and also Kevin Harvick had some trouble with some loose conditions.
Well, the big thing here is these guys are driving these cars. Look at Carl Edwards getting loose right there in that one. You know, Kenny, they drive him right on the edge. You have to be fast.
You know, in yesterday's nationwide race, I lay in the throttle and I threatened the car to come around. And you can see here that, you know, Tony Stewart knows he's loose, but what the drivers are waiting for, Spence, and you know this, you're as good as anybody. You're waiting for the car to send you a message, and look at the message that Sam Hornish got sent. I'm loose, and spins it out, and look, woohoo.
Doesn't hit nothing.
Doesn't hit nothing.
Watch his spins. He does a great job. Right here he gets in the corner.
Loose.
Bobbles a little loose, trying to catch it. Boom. Now, good for him. He says he's done a great job. And I'm going to tell you, this guy does not give up. There it is, Johnny.
For
That's
Robbie
a tough
Gordon.
deal.
Boom goes the dynamite.
And you know what's bad about Gordon's blown motor here and the bad week last week? He soon will find himself outside the top 35 in the point. The year has just gone horrible for Robbie Gordon.
No teammate on his part to help him either.
All right, so despite all the trials and tribulations that went on for Dale Earnhardt Jr., as we go into the first turn there, Kyle Busch gets up into Earnhardt Jr. He was leading the race at the time.
And Spence, that's another case of, hey, car, send me a message, you're loose. And the car said, I'm loose. Look at this. I'm going to spin out.
He turns that car down there. You know, Kyle, give Kyle credit, though. He drives that thing in there. Unfortunately, he gets in Earnhardt, cost Earnhardt the lead, and Dale Jr. up high loses a lot of spots. But later on in the race, Jr. just gets up really high, hits the wall pretty hard. This is the one that puts him way back. He's running in the top 10 at the time. He hits the wall, cuts down the right rear tire, has to make a pit stop, Johnny.
From bad to worse for Dale Jr., from good to bad for David Reagan as he goes in there and just starts blowing off some steam.
And you know what? I hate to say this about Roush Yates, but they have blown a lot of motors this year.
A lot. That there is a lot of steam coming out. It looks like, you know, a head gasket problem. Who knows? But he had to park the car after a solid top 10 run all day long.
And here's a full head of steam for Carl Edwards, the good kind of steam, as he gets by Jeff Gordon on the underside of the racetrack with Tony Stewart in tow. And these three would be battling now for pretty much the rest of this race.
And not fans. Let me tell you, this is interesting. Carl Edwards not a factor all day long. He takes the lead here. Not a whole lot of time left in the race. All at once, that Aflac duck gets up there, passes Jeff Gordon for the lead. What happens, Kenny? I tell you, it was interesting. I was late with, what, 30 or 40 laps to go?
Well, we have just a little bit to go, and then all of a sudden we have the bad pit stop. You know, he comes in, Carl Edwards comes in leading the race. Bad pit stop, comes out 11th. So you just can't pass people at this racetrack. You know, you got to be really strong. So he ends up finishing 10th.
So when we come back to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed here in Texas, we'll take you to the checkered flag. We have a very crucial pit stop coming up here, and we'll take a look at how the other unsung heroes of NASCAR did to get Jeff Gordon to Victory Lane. Welcome back to Victory Lane, everybody, where we are in the middle of a very big celebration after a 47-race winless drought. The number 24 team. See, I'm so used to Jimmie Johnson winning, but number 24 team.
He did win last week.
Yeah, he did. 24 is back into Victory Lane. So now let's take you back to the end of the race now as we go back in time with a David Stremme spin. Bad for Stremme, but even worse for some of the leaders.
Yeah, but Stremme had a flat tire. Believe me, he didn't want to have that happen to him. He was running in the top 10, contending there. But you know what? What you said, this is the one that kills Carl Edwards. This pit stop there coming.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what. Okay, here we come in. The scene is set. Jeff Gordon, four-time champion, comes in for his pit stop. The race is going to be who is going to win it off of pit road. Is it going to be Jeff Gordon? Is it going to be Carl Edwards? Is it going to be Tony Stewart? And here we go. It's a flawless pit stop for Jeff Gordon.
Boy, Katie, these guys, look at this. On the money. Now watch this.
Oh, he's gone.
This is what I enjoy, fans. That's it. You guys did your job. Give yourself credit, Sky. I love that, man. That's the part of this sport I love.
Now, here's the other side of this sport that we don't love at times. Look at the pit stop for Carl Edwards. Guys, take us through this one.
Well, first of all, the jack, you know, he gets up, decent right side stop. Here we go, left rear, watch the left rear, problems, left front. I mean, everything's just slow.
Split seconds here, fans. We're not talking a lot of time. We're talking split seconds. But you know what, Kenny? It was slow. Carl's reaction here, just,
you can tell.
Wow, he knows it. That frustrates
me. Yeah, and you know what, guys? What happens is Carl Edwards wins 2 races last year on gas mileage. This one, they lose him into pits, but who knows? You know, this is for second place.
Remember, we said not too long ago that earlier in this race, Jimmie Johnson wasn't even in the top 15. Never count out the 48 as Jimmie Johnson battles his way back up. He had nothing for the 24, but he certainly had enough for a second place finish.
And that's 2 weeks in a row, Johnny. Last week, he rallies that car to win, and here he rallies that car to get second. Him and that Chad Knapp played through.
And that's what makes champions. If you can't win the race, you got to get the best finish you can, and that's the best finish you can in this situation.
And this was big for the Biff. The Biff finishes 3rd, and I'm going to tell you what, he dropped from 4th in the points to 23rd. This 3rd place finish will put him up there as Jeff Gordon wins.
Jeff Gordon fans celebrate. Career victory number 82 puts him 6 on the all-time win list. And Steve Letarte is saying, hallelujah, man, the monkey is off our back, and it's a huge weight off his back.
And you just said it, that he should pass Bobby Allison, right?
Soon.
I think
we'd have to check on that, but yeah, very soon.
Because
6, 1 behind Kale.
1 behind Kale. But that's, you know,
that's up there with legends.
He's getting close to number 2, fans, which is David Pearson is 100.
Let's take a look at the finishing order here with the 2 Hendrick Motorsports cars up top, Gordon and Johnson. Great run for the Biff. Another great run for Tony Stewart.
Yeah, and Tony Stewart's associated with the, you know, the Childress, I'm sorry, with the Hendrick cars. So that's 3 Hendrick cars and 2 Roush cars in the top 5, Kenny.
And who would have ever thought that Kurt Busch would have run as good as he did after the incredibly famous argument between him and Roger Penske last week?
And don't forget Juan Pablo Montoya with the top 10. David Rudiman finished 11th, and that was despite a little trouble in the pits. Still a great run for that team.
Yeah, he was over the line, fans. He lost a lap. He got it back. Good day, David. Not where you were running, but still 11th is a good salvage.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 20th. Casey Mears 21st. Keselowski 23rd.
Can I point out that Casey Mears was the top Childress car? So before we go blaming anything on Casey Mears, we got to take a look at this race.
Regan Smith in number 78 car finished 31st. You know, Regan Smith has finished every Cup race he's ever entered. That's pretty cool. Elliott Sadler in the 19 car was 32nd. He had a rough day. Not too sure what happened along the way to Jamie McMurray, just mechanical trouble in that car.
Yeah, transmission, but I wanted to talk about David Reagan. He was running in the top 10. For him to come back in the 36th or 7th position, not a good day. Dave Blaney, Mike Bliss, Marcus Ambrose. Marcus Ambrose, another running in a good, solid top 10. Not indicative of where he was running.
Tough break for the Tasmanian Devil now after 7 of the 36 races. That. Jeff Gordon 162 points up on defending champ Jimmie Johnson.
I think what's going to happen here, Kenny, they're not going to go to the top 12. If you're in the top 12, it doesn't matter. What NASCAR's going to say is we want Jeff Gordon to win his 5th championship. So he has a big enough lead. We'll just see if you can do it. But you know, it's stupid. That is a good contingent of competitors already stacked in that top 10.
And Casey Kane finds himself in the top 10 as well, 303 points out. Now it's time for our Valvoline protecting the win portion of the show. And you know what? It's got to go to this crew on the number 24 with a flawless pit stop And even better than flawless, because they picked up 2 positions on the racetrack in the pits for Jeff Gordon, and that propelled him to his 82nd win all-time, first of the season, and just a huge victory for this team. Welcome back to Victory Lane, everybody, the Texas Motor Speedway, where Jeff Gordon is spraying champagne and maybe even getting a little bit on the traditional cowboy hat for the winner. But it doesn't matter, because it's a 47-race winless streak. It's kind of hard to even say that, Jeff, because it's been so long since you've been here. Welcome back, and we have a very special presentation to start out with. Look at this. You got your name on the Wall of Champions hat.
Oh, that's awesome. It's such a thrill and an honor to win here at Texas, because there's no track that I've ever worked as hard at over the years and have had so many ups and downs as I have here at Texas Motor Speedway. So, you know, to break the streak here is just so ironic and unbelievable, and what an incredible team effort it was today. Great year we're having.
Way to go, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Jeff, I'm so happy for you. As you know, I'm a big fan of yours, and you're a great race car driver. But, you know, everybody always wants to bust everybody down, analyze. So if you were to say 1, 2, 3, or 3 things over this 40-something race winless streak, what would you say kept you from getting to victory lane for so long? I mean, you've mentioned a couple things, but like 2 or 3.
You know, missed opportunities. I mean, we've been able to win at least one race, you know, a couple races a year throughout that what 15-year span. And in those 15 years, you know, there were races that we shouldn't have won that we did. There were races that we should have won, and we did win them. And last year there was a couple that I felt like we could have won or should have won, and we just didn't. You know, we just let them slip out of our hand. And so, you know, I think that what always kept driving me was that we're at Hendrick Motorsports. I've always believed in Steve Letarte. I just love this guy as my crew chief. And, you know, I knew we had all the resources to do it, and you see your teammates doing it. And so, you know, this year I recommitted myself with you know, my workout program and giving the team everything I could. And I mean, I guess I just looked and said, you know, am I doing everything that I could? Because I know Steve and the guys are looking at everything that they can do, and the team at Hendrick. And so I was probably slacking a little bit in my workout routine. And so I just felt like, you know, this year it's just given me a whole fresh new outlook on things, as well as feeling good, even though my back is bothering me still. But I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that every year, you know, we've had the opportunity to win, but not every year we've capitalized on it, and that was last year.
And what I saw today is the old Jeff Gordon, because early in the race you started backing up, and it's like, uh-oh. You know, we can't get
I was thinking that was old Texas.
I know. But you and Stevie got together, and you started marching back forward and then took the lead. I says, man, what changes did you make? So it had to be the right stuff, because it looked like you've got, bam, refired, and there it is.
Yeah, we got real loose at the beginning. And so, you know, what was interesting is, as loose as we were, we still weren't too bad. And even though, you know, some guys ran away from us, we made an adjustment. I was screaming, yelling, you know, I'm loose. And so, of course, Steve, you know, made a big adjustment. I was like, I'm tight. And so then we made about the 3rd or 4th pit stop. We made an adjustment, and it just came to life. That's when we drove from 7th up to 2nd. Yeah. And that car, at that moment, I was like, we have a car that can win this race. And then the pit crew did it. You know, I don't know what happened to the Roush cars there at the end, and you know, but we had an amazing pit stop.
That's the last pit stop, Jeff.
We were having great pit stops all day long and getting out first. And, you know, it's just so ironic. We had the #1 pit stop last week at Martinsville, you know, and this week we had the 2nd best one, but we got out first quite often. And the team was just doing an amazing job on pit road, and the car was just there. You know, I said this last week, our 1.5 mile program is the strongest thing we have right now, and that's where we really struggled last year. So I guess kind of to answer your question too, Kenny, is just on the 1.5 miles, just as a whole overall program, the 24 car just wasn't as strong as we needed to be. And this year, that 1.5 mile program is really good. I mean, we've shown it at California, at Vegas, here, Atlanta. You know, it's impressive.
You know, Jeff, as a race car driver, I know that drivers can't stay dominant all the time, but every time I get you know, an opportunity to interview a good race car driver, you like to explain to the fans that you just can't win constantly.
Yeah.
And I agree with what happens, you know, missed opportunities, pit stops, you know, things like that. Carl Edwards is leading the race, comes out 11th.
Right.
That's a missed opportunity.
Exactly. I mean, you know, Carl was good at times and not so good at other times, but when he was on me there at the end, I was like, man, I'm just not. I was driving as hard as I could to stay in front of him, and I just couldn't. You know, he was just better than we were, and so then we got the lead, you know, and we got clean air, and I ran as hard as I could then, and I was able to get a gap on him. And then I saw Jimmie get into second, and I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. Can't ever count this guy out. That was an impressive run. I didn't see him in the top 5 all day, and then all of a sudden he finished second and almost won the race.
Jeff, congratulations. Welcome back to Victory Lane. Great job today.
Feels awesome. Thank all the fans. What an amazing you know, support group that we have with all of our fans, and so fun to be back in Victory Lane. I know my fans are going to be excited about that.
Yeah, and leaving here with the points lead as well. Congratulations to Jeff Gordon and company. It's also been a very special weekend here at the Texas Motor Speedway with all the things that have been going on outside. This weekend in Texas was the kickoff of the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series. From amateurs to professionals, the competition was on fire. Yesterday, the Kansas City Barbecue Society named the winners of the professional division. Rutledge Wood was on hand to award them their prizes and chat with them about the experience.
Over the course of the weekend, fans have been trying thousands and thousands of samples of barbecue, and were asked to cast their votes as to what one was their favorite. We've tabulated all of the votes, and believe me, there were thousands of them. The winner this weekend, overall, in the winner of $2,500, Twin Oaks Smoking Crew.
And definitely the prettiest competitor of all. Here's Leanne from Wood Chicks Barbecue. Have you had a good time this weekend?
It's been a great weekend. The fans have been great, and we served some great barbecue.
I know which line I'll be waiting in later. Leanne's.
I just want to say thank you to Rivalry OTC, SMI, Texas Motor Speedway, and the Kansas City Barbecue Society for coming out and running the judging for us and making such a great event.
Here are all the winners from this weekend's Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series and the grand champion, Bart. Bart, how'd you do it?
Well, I just think what we did is just hit our times. We had a great helper right here, both these guys right here getting that meat up there right. And well, we just had a good day cooking.
And what's your favorite, the favorite thing you make, what is it?
I think it'd have to be pork.
Well, I'm ready to try some. Bart and all the guys, congratulations for all your hard work. This is why this is so much fun.
Today's barbecue event supports the Speedway Children's Charities. To learn more about these worthy causes, please visit speedwaycharities.org. Again, a beautiful day here in Texas. We had a lot of blue skies, a lot of green flag racing, and Jeff Gordon is the one who's shooting things off in the victory lane afterwards. We'll be back in a moment. Here at Texas today, Jeff Gordon snapped a long winless streak, and since Rick Hendrick put Steve Letarte and Jeff Gordon together, they have gone to victory lane 10 times. It's the 82nd win for Jeff Gordon, but definitely a huge one for this whole team. Steve Letarte joins us now, and Steve, you got to be so proud when you look at your driver out there leading so many laps, but also doubly proud when you see your pit crew knock off a pit stop like they did at the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a total team win. You know, the pit stops, the car preparation. We weren't very good yesterday. We put our heads together last night. We made some changes this morning. You know, top to bottom, inside and out. Everybody had their hand in this win, and everybody should be really, really proud.
You know, Steve, I was telling Jeff this, and I feel that way. Watching the race, I said, uh-oh, Jeff's starting to fall back. All at once, the adjustments were made right. Bam, I said, that's a Jeff Gordon old. And I guess my point is that it seems like last year, he didn't have that. You guys didn't have that cohesiveness. This year, you guys have been just super strong, especially, you know, like Jeff had said, Vegas and California, now here. I guess my question is what did you do? Because he started faltering, make a couple adjustments, and boy, he comes all the way back wins the race.
Yeah, I mean, really, you know, you guys know. You've been in cars before. You've had crew chiefs on the radio. You guys are trying. He tried to give me every bit of information, and I was trying to make the right adjustments. Just nothing seemed to click last year. We couldn't make the car better. And, you know, we were nervous. He really kept us in the race. You know, we were a 20th place car for the first 100-lap run. We could have easily been taken out of the race, but he kept us in the top 10. And then, like you said, about the third or fourth pit stop, we made a couple quick changes, and it just came to life. And we got on the right road, and that's a lot of people with a lot of hard work. You know, a lot of studying the notes. Alan, Chad, all the other crew chiefs have really helped me out, you know, with some direction. And I mean, it's a company win. I'm proud to see us run 1-2 out of the 24-48 shop. You know, we've been trying to win this for a long time.
Steve, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Jeff, and you didn't hear him, so I want to hear your question. Everybody on your team has taken the weight of Jeff, you know, missing some opportunities last year and not winning in 40-something races. What did you do over the wintertime? What were the one or two things as a crew chief that kept you from getting to victory lane in the last year and a half or so?
Well, you know, I think the number one thing we had to do top to bottom was everybody had to kind of take a week off after Homestead and decide how bad they want it. And me included. You know, I thought I was trying as hard as I could, but it obviously wasn't enough. I think Jeff had to try too hard to make up for what we weren't giving him in the car. Really, from top to bottom, we weren't good enough. And as soon as we just accepted that and everybody kind of put their egos aside, I think it really clicked. And, you know, I can't say enough about Mr. Hendrick, Jeff, everybody at the company. You know, it would have been really easy to kind of turn the tables and look for a scapegoat or look for reasons why we're not winning. But we're here in victory lane today because, you know, as an owner, as sponsors and teammates and, you know, crew members that work for me, not one time in the last 40-something races did anyone ever question or point the finger at me. And I think that's the only reason we really could pick ourselves back up.
Steve, what kind of pressure falls on you as a crew chief for a four-time champion when, I mean, you probably hear some of the same things we are. You know, it's got to be something else other than this driver that's been so great for so long.
Yeah, you know, there's absolutely, you know, the finger's going to be pointed on you, but I'll take it. I've always been the guy, man, give me the ball. That's how I've been raised. Ray taught me that. Robbie taught me that. Rick has definitely taught me that. So I think I said in, you know, an interview before, the best thing about this job is we have all the tools, all the equipment, and the driver to go win races. The worst part about this job is we have all the tools, the car to go win races. So, yeah, you know you need to win, but, you know, it's a first-class operation with first-class people, and the only people that really put pressure on us are ourselves, and that's really all that matters. As long as we continue to do that, hopefully we continue to win.
And that's why they're winners.
Yeah, that's very true. Everybody that I see at our shows, 5 championships. How important is that going to be for your focus the rest of this year? Because, and let's face it, big point lead, 160-some points, which will go away at the end of 12. But what are you building on, Stevie, right now for that situation? Because we know that's what it's about, the Cup.
Well, you know, there's 2 parts to the season. Right now, these are important because we're in a stretch of chase races. It started at Martinsville, comes to here, through Phoenix, through Talladega. Those are all chase races. Very important to get your stuff right, make sure you have good notes. Then the most important thing is to race through the summer fun. Have fun, stay light, keep the guys energized, race for wins. If you come out of the box strong, you get yourself a lead, then you can go for wins, try to get those 10-point bonuses, and you know, just stay light on your feet, because last year I think one of the biggest mistakes we made is we tried so hard to get better that we had Jeff in a race car every single week testing. We were always behind. We always had cars all over the country, and you know, I think this year we're just going to really focus on each week, be very, very prepared, have a plan, stick to the plan, and see how it works.
And now you got an extra couple days to enjoy this one. Congratulations, Steve. Great job, and enjoy this one. It's a very big win for your team and also for Jeff Gordon.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again to the 2014 that snaps a couple winless streaks, not only over the past 47 races, but also over the 17 at this Texas Motor Speedway. Be sure and join us at the Speed Cantina at the Phoenix International Raceway. Try the all-new Speed Cantina menu items, including the Herminator hot dog and the Jimmy Spencer Nacho Average Salad. For some reason, they passed on the Johnny TV dinner. I don't know why. Visit us there. See the latest NASCAR photos from every track every weekend on SpeedTV.com. Get behind-the-scenes access with our exclusive Garage Pass galleries. See the cars, the crew, even your favorite drivers. Check out the NASCAR photo galleries on SpeedTV.com. Well, welcome back to Texas, everybody. You know, just a few moments ago on this show, Jeff Gordon said the one thing that he feared today was looking up in his rearview mirror and seeing teammate Jimmie Johnson trying to run him down for the win. He was able to hold off his teammate, but nonetheless, he said you can never count out the 48. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Jimmie Johnson, first of all, want to talk about your boy, your friend there in victory lane. Jeff Gordon hadn't won in a while. How good is it to see him win?
As a friend, it's really good to see him there. The competitor in me, I hate losing, and I'd like to try to stop their momentum. Those guys have been on a roll, but I'm very proud of our shop, of Hendrick Motorsports, and I have a lot of friends on that 24 team, and very happy for Stevie and their whole group. They've been so close to winning over the last few years, and have gone onto a bit of a dry spell. So I am happy for those guys. There is something deep in the back, that competitor in me. It's like, damn, Gordon won, and it's going to make him even more difficult to beat for this championship.
But at the same time, there's something back in our minds that is saying, where the heck did you come from today?
And we just kept fighting for fighting to make the car better. It was really bad, and it was really tight. Then we worked on it and made it really loose and uncomfortable to drive. I almost crashed a couple times. And then we got the balance closer, and then we started to get some track position. And once we got track position, we started making up some time. And that last pit stop, we picked up a couple spots and got by the 14 and tried chasing that 24 down.
How about this? Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon, now the top 2 in points.
And Bob, that brings back memories of a couple of years ago when Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Gordon battled all the way down to the final race at Homestead for the championship. And we remember when Jeff Gordon came over after Johnson won Homestead, and he threw in the white towel, said, no mas, I can't do it anymore. But those are 2 championship caliber teams, and they're right back up there again.
And the thing that's amazing to me is that week in and week out, that 48 team, I said earlier in the show, they were back to 15th. They weren't even a factor. And what's going on? How about last week at Martinsville? He's not even in the top 10 at lap 250 or 280. I've gone, wow. They never give up, Kenny. They come rallying all the way back to get second today. Incredible run for him.
And I think during the off week, once we get done celebrating Jeff Gordon's win, I think the highlights should say rematch of 2007, because race fans, Jeff Gordon is the point leader, and that man right there, the 48 of Jimmie Johnson, is second in the points. Will we have a thriller in Manila? Will it be a rematch of teammates like 2007?
It could well be, and you know what's always a thriller is the race we call the Sprint All-Star race at Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's coming up soon. It's given us some great memories in the past, and no race like that can make a driver's career like it did for Ryan Newman back in 2002. He found out just what it meant to beat the best of the best under the lights at Lowe's Motor Speedway.
The All-Star race is a special race in itself, just because we're all at home. We all have home field advantage. Everybody's there. Everybody's family's there from every team member. And so you're all racing for glory and the money, basically. There's no point.
He's going to get him pushed up, and he's going to get under him right here. Here he goes. He has the run. He'll lead this lap. He's got him. Robbie Gordon, the 31, he got a good run.
We weren't even in the show to start the night, and that's what made it so I guess extra special towards the end when we won, that we made it from the outside in, started last, and came back through, and had a good race with Dale Jr. to for the fans to be able to make it back to the start-finish line to win the race.
Junior is there. Bumper tag. Now see, Junior respected him. He could have taken him. He could have taken him around right there, and he lost some ground because he had to back off the throttle there. Last chance. He may not respect him here though. No, he pushed up, drove in hard, don't think he can do it.
And Ryan Newman is going to win the Winston.
Race. Celebrating 25 years of All-Star memories. Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star race on Speed May 16th. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge. Recreate, hibernate.
Steve Burns and the crew will break down the Texas Race Monday on This Week in NASCAR. Also profiled will be the best scanner sound from the Texas race in the radioactive feature. Last week, Twin viewers eavesdropped on an argument between Kurt Busch and car owner Roger Penske. This week in NASCAR, only on Speed. It should be a regular Monday stop for you. So this was a wild race today here at Texas. All 500 miles, there was battling at the front of the pack and at the back of the pack. So let's now hear from some of the drivers who figured in to today's 500-miler.
Got messed up on pit road there. 77 was coming at his stall. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. We just timed it wrong, and we slid out of the box a little bit, and had to push it back and lost a ton of track position there. And then they started changing the tire, and that cost us a lap. So battled back, got a lap back, and got as far as 11th. So all in all, really disappointed. But you know, if this would have been a year ago, we couldn't even have even dreamt of that. So I'm happy with my guys. They get a great job on pit road. I had a great air and stream machine all day. Everybody at Michael Waltrip Racing's done a great job. Just kind of bummed out. Felt like we had a much better car. And we did have a much better car the more we finished.
We missed the setup. So from the beginning of the race, we were struggling to get the car balanced. And then Bob got it balanced. We had that one good pit stop, passed Jeff for the lead. I mean, I thought we can just have one more, we'll be all right. And then we came out, you know, went in lead and came out 11th, and that's what cost us the race. You know, my guys are trying real hard, and we're all in this together, but we can do a better job than that, and I'm sure we will.
The result was good. I didn't think we were very good at all yesterday in practice. We qualified really well, but we just didn't practice very well. So Drew and Chip and these guys did a good job not giving up and kind of salvaged something out of nothing. So it's just a different kind of racing today. You know, you can look up at the scoreboard, and after everybody's done pitting, whoever restarts and leads is probably going to win. You just can't pass with these cars like you could, and it's all about having perfect pit stops and qualifying and doing the right things for track position, and we just got ourselves behind.
The car owner's happy, the driver's ticked off. I mean, I still wanted to win this thing. I mean, I felt like we had a shot at it, and we did. We were good all day. We were respectable all day, and you know, we were good all weekend here. Just got to figure out some little things to make it a little quicker earlier in the day or earlier in the run, and not so fast at the end of the run.
You know, we had a great race car today. 3 and Ford Fusion, you know, ran really good. I'm happy that I got it fairly close in practice on Saturday. Greg Irwin and the guys were able to adjust on it during the race and get it running fast the entire time. But you know, we had a few issues along the way, lost some track position, only able to fight back to third. And, you know, it sucks when you have the fastest car and you're running those guys down and you just run out of time. Figured 500 miles is plenty of time to do it, but, you know, we had lost a little track position there with some lug nuts falling off and just didn't get back.
So congratulations go out to Jeff Gordon, the number 2014. This win was a long time coming.
Yeah, very special. Easter, you get off 1 week, then we go 12 straight weeks. Easter's very special for my family and myself, Kenny.
Next week, Saturday, I'll be running the nationwide race, so I've got a week coming up. But the Cup guys are off, so they're going to, I think Michael Waltrip, a couple Cup drivers, are going to be running Nashville for the nationwide race.
Well, I think we're going to be sitting back and watching Kenny Wallace race on the TV. We'll do it over at Spencer's house.
We're going to get some barbecue from Rutledge. What do you think?
There you go. That was some pretty good stuff. That's a good idea. And I want to thank all the fans for coming along for the ride with us here today at Texas. Got a weekend off, and then we'll see you in Phoenix. Let's now take a look in the rearview mirror. The state of Texas is known for cattle, cowboys, and bright stars. Hey, put your hat back on. Get your boots on, your spurs, your cowboy hat, draw your 6-shooters. It's time for racing at Texas.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cows.
How was the rental car on the way to the racetrack this morning?
Rental car handled real good. It was a little snug in the turns.
Everything's fine. It's blowing up.
Keep his hand pulling out of his you-know-what. Just drive it, you know, and be smart.
Let's go racing, boys!
When you think Texas Motor Speedway, you think speed, a very fast racetrack.
Yeah, there's plenty of cowboys wandering around looking tough, and I don't know what in the world he's wearing, what bet he lost, but Hammonds, you need to look in the mirror, brother.
I love you! I love you! I love you, man!
There they are, justifiably proud.
I think that Jeff Gordon can break his streak of being winless in last season, the beginning of this season, and also at this racetrack of Texas, starting P2 from Vallejo, California, number 24, Jeff Gordon.
We are living a dream because we're racers.